guys, it's time for episode 2 of atASMRi, and today I'll be playing Pitfall. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Pitfall, which was originally referred to by the working title Jungle Runner, is a 1982 platformer originally created for the Atari 2600 and later ported to a range of other home video game consoles following its breakout success. It was created by David Crane and published by Activision, and is cited as being the second most successful Atari 2600 game of all time, selling upwards of 4 million copies, being beaten out only by Pac-Man, and was named 1982's Game of the Year. Pitfall sees explorer Pitfall Harry maneuvering through a side-scrolling jungle whilst traversing assets such as barrels, which, when touched, will reduce your score, tar pits, snakes, fires, and scorpions, all of which, when touched, will kill you outright, with the chief objective of the game being to collect 32 treasures, including gold, diamond rings, and silver bars, within 20 minutes over 255 looping screens, using obstacles such as vines, ladders, and tunnels to your advantage. The game ends either after the player collects said 32 pieces of treasure, or loses all 3 of their lives. After developing the technology to display a functional, realistic, for that time period anyway, Running Man in 1979 experimented with various video game concepts for which to implement his new technology, eventually settling on the concept of a jungle exploration game that would ultimately become Pitfall. The game's concept was initially laid out by Crane on graph paper, allegedly taking over 1,000 hours of programming to then put into game form. Unlike most Atari 2600 games, Pitfall does not have any form of difficulty setting or selectable game modes, due to the fact that it is one of the few Atari games to actually have an end goal, rather than just seeing how high a score one could obtain before getting game over. Notably, also unlike most 2600 games, Pitfall can be played either left to right or right to left. The game was also considered revolutionary for its time in that it featured non-flickering animated sprites of varying colours on hardware which had never previously seen the implementation of such features. The player is able to angle their jump using the joystick for only the first 3/60ths of a second after pressing the jump button. This was a conscious choice by Crane to give the game more realistic physics. Following its initial release, Pitfall held the #1 position on the Billboard video game charts for a solid 64 weeks. Also following its release for some time was a promotion in which players who were able to reach 20,000 points and photographs that score could send their image to Activision, who would in turn present them with a Pitfall Harry Explorer Club badge. At one point, Activision are said to have been receiving over 10,000 fan letters and fan-made maps per week, resulting in them putting on new workers just to get through all the mail. In its original form, Pitfall only allowed the player a single life. After realizing that some players may be turned away from the game due to such a high level of difficulty, 2 additional lives were programmed in, taking a full 2 weeks of work to implement. In 1984, an Atari 2600 sequel to Pitfall was released, titled Pitfall 2 Lost Caverns, also developed by Crane and also receiving mass praise from critics and gamers alike. In fact, Pitfall 2 was so successful that it was actually ported to arcade machine by Sega, where it played as a cartoony mashup of the first 2 games. Plenty of Pitfall sequels and spin-offs have since been released across a variety of consoles, with the most recent entry, a 3D reimagining of the original, being released for mobile devices in 2012. The idea of jumping on crocodiles' heads to cross legs was inspired by the intro of the 1956 series, The Heckle and Jekyll cartoon show, in which the titular characters are seen running from a lion, using the heads of snapping crocodiles as stepping stones. Pitfall proved to be so popular that it even received its own series of 7 animated shorts, airing in 1983 as a part of Saturday Supercade, a Saturday morning program which ran for 2 seasons in 1983 through 1985. The shorts chronicled the adventures of both Pitfall Harry and his niece Rhonda, alongside Quick Claw, their cowardly pet mountain lion. The latter 2 of whom went on to appear in the aforementioned Pitfall 2 Lost Caverns. A young Jack Black was featured in a Pitfall ad from the game's year of release, marking his debut into the field of acting. The game's tree canopy graphics are partially made up of repurposed, retextured Pitfall Harry sprites. And with that, the second episode of atASMRi must come to an end. Thanks for joining me. Hope to catch you next time.